Cain Marko, better known as the Unstoppable Juggernaut, has been a mainstay in the Marvel Universe since his debut in the 1960s. As a towering behemoth clad in a red suit of armor, he possesses the ability to demolish anything in his path. As one of the more compelling and multifaceted antagonists in the X-Men universe, the Juggernaut has a fascinating anatomy and is truly a sight to behold. So, without further ado, let's dive into exploring each aspect of one of the most formidable villains in Marvel history. Before we begin, we have a small request. If you enjoy our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. It's just a little click for you, but it means a lot to us. Thank you, and let's get started. Is Juggernaut really a mutant? To answer this question, we need to delve deep into the origins of this colossal character. Many assume that Juggernaut was born a mutant, with powers that developed over time, like many others in the Marvel Universe. However, this is not the case. Cain Marko, the stepbrother of Professor X, was originally an ordinary human who served in the Korean War. During a battle, he sought refuge in a cave, with Xavier following closely behind to prevent their team from thinking he had deserted. Inside, they discovered an ancient, lost temple containing the Crimson Gem of Cyttorak, an artifact revered as a deity by the primitive humans of that region. Xavier quickly realized the potential danger and warned Cain not to touch the gem. Ignoring this warning, Cain seized the gem, triggering a chain reaction that caused the temple to collapse. Xavier managed to escape, but Cain was seemingly trapped inside. However, by touching the gem, Cain was imbued with the mystical power of Cyttorak, transforming him into the Juggernaut. From this origin story, it's clear that Cain was never a carrier of the mutant gene. Instead, he was a normal human who gained his powers through the mystical blessings, or curse, of Cyttorak, the Lord of Oblivion. In short, Juggernaut is not a mutant because his powers are mystical in nature, not genetic. Furthermore, Cyttorak has the ability to strip Cain of all his powers, reverting him to his human form. Additionally, none of the technology designed to alter or dampen mutant powers works on the Juggernaut, reinforcing the fact that his abilities are not linked to a mutant gene. The source of Juggernaut's power. The origin of Juggernaut's power is far more intriguing than the simple possession of mutant genes. Cyttorak, also known as the Master of the Raging Storm or the Destroyer, is an extra-dimensional entity of immense power. He hails from the Crimson Cosmos and was once worshipped as a demon god by primitive humans, who both revered and feared his wrath. Cain Marko's transformation in the Lost Temple was a result of the myth of Cyttorak being lost to time after the entity was banished back to his home dimension. The Crimson Gem of Cyttorak is a remarkable artifact, and its powers seem almost limitless. The energy it provides to Cyttorak's chosen exemplar is formidable in terms of offense, defense, durability, and, most importantly, sustainability. The wielder of the gem doesn't require sleep, food, drink, or even air, regardless of how weak the host may be. This was demonstrated in The Amazing Spider-Man number 230, where Spider-Man managed to trap the Juggernaut in a pool of cement. As he slowly sank, Juggernaut simply accepted his fate and patiently waited for an opportunity to resurface and wreak havoc once more. The gem provides him with an endless supply of power, allowing him to sustain himself indefinitely. Unstoppable momentum and limitless stamina. True to his name, the Juggernaut is indeed unstoppable thanks to the gem. Once he gains momentum, he generates an infinite amount of kinetic energy, making it nearly impossible to stop him. Only characters like the Hulk have ever come close to slowing him down. But even then, they've never completely halted his progress. On one occasion, Juggernaut ran through an entire mountain, creating enough kinetic energy through his movement to maintain his momentum. In addition to his unstoppable nature, Juggernaut also possesses infinite stamina. Unlike humans, who need to rest and refuel their energy, Juggernaut has no such limitations. The energy coursing through his body, thanks to the gem, allows him to stay in motion indefinitely and continuously generate more power at will. His stamina even surpasses that of the Incredible Hulk, who can fight for weeks on end. The Juggernaut's connection to the gem enables him to tap into this boundless energy, making him virtually unstoppable and capable of tearing through any obstacle or foe in his path. Juggernaut's armor and mystical protection. Juggernaut's powers aren't limited to his physical strength. His defensive capabilities are also unparalleled. He possesses two types of armor: an impenetrable force field provided by the powers of Sidorak, and the unbreakable armor he wears. The armor, known as the Crimson Cosmos armor, can be summoned at will and serves multiple purposes. Firstly, it provides extra protection against characters who might penetrate his force field. If anything manages to harm him, the unbreakable armor allows him to endure and continue fighting. Secondly, and most importantly, the armor includes a helmet with an underlying skull cap. This equipment shields Juggernaut from his one true weakness: psionic attacks. Despite his immense physical strength, a powerful psychic like Jean Grey or Professor X could defeat him by breaking through his mental defenses. For this reason, the Crimson Cosmos armor is vital for Juggernaut, providing him with crucial protection against psychic threats. How physically strong is the Juggernaut? Even if we focus solely on the physical aspect of the Juggernaut's power, the sheer absurdity of his strength might surprise fans who haven't delved into the comics. Blessed by Sidorak, the Juggernaut is one of the strongest physical beings in the entire Marvel Universe. Even the strongest versions of the Hulk struggle to go toe-to-toe with him, and if they can, they certainly can't outperform him in terms of stamina. His massive fists can cause earthquakes of tremendous magnitude, and even create fissures, while his body can penetrate any obstacle once he gains momentum. Thanks to his incredible strength and durability, the Juggernaut can endure an enormous amount of punishment from the likes of Thor with his Mjolnir, and even from cosmic entities. In the Amazing Spider-Man number 629, we see that the Juggernaut can withstand the immense gravitational force of Earth's core, while also burrowing through the bedrock. This feat requires unfathomable strength and durability, as few beings can withstand such extreme punishment while simultaneously using their power to penetrate solid rock. Time and time again, Juggernaut has proven that, in terms of raw physical power, he can push himself to the extreme. He has battled Thor and the Hulk, bested the likes of the Thing and Colossus, and demonstrated his immense strength through his Thunderclap ability. On multiple occasions, the force generated by his Thunderclap has been felt by multitudes of people, severely impacting those caught in its wake. The absurdity of Juggernaut's physical prowess is one of the most entertaining aspects of his character. With his military background and limitless power, Cain Marko, the Juggernaut, relishes engaging in close-quarters combat and overpowering his opponents without even breaking a sweat. Does Juggernaut have healing powers? Despite being famously invulnerable, the Juggernaut can still suffer some damage. While conventional physical attacks or weapons can't penetrate his defenses, mystical or cosmic weapons wielded by beings of immense power can, on rare occasions, harm him. In these scenarios, the Gem of Sidorak immediately begins healing any injuries he sustains. While his healing factor isn't on par with Deadpool's or Wolverine's, it's still a remarkable ability that seems almost limitless. For example, when the Demon Despair reduced Juggernaut to nothing but a skeleton, the gem was able to completely regenerate his body to its original form within seconds. Although Juggernaut's healing ability may not be as strong as Deadpool's, it is certainly faster and more efficient. He can stay in the midst of battle even after suffering significant damage, with his healing factor and self-sustenance allowing him to remain completely unaffected by any non-lethal forces. Can Juggernaut reproduce? Have you ever heard of the X-People, A-Next, or even J2 and Zane Yama? If not, Zane Yama is the son of Cain Marko and Sachi Yama on Earth 982, which is part of the MC2 Marvel Comics 2 continuity. In this timeline, Cain Marko has reinvented himself as a hero, working alongside the X-Men. He started a family with his lover, Sachi, and has a son, Zane, who inherits his powers and idolizes the heroic version of the Juggernaut. This story takes place in an alternate reality, separate from Earth 616, the primary continuity of the Marvel Universe. However, using the logic of Earth 616, Juggernaut can indeed reproduce. Before becoming the Juggernaut, Cain Marko was an ordinary human without any traces of the mutant gene. After coming into contact with the Gem of Sidorak, Cain became Sidorak's exemplar and avatar of destruction on Earth. Despite this transformation, Juggernaut is still a superhuman who can engage in normal human activities, meaning he can reproduce if he so desires. There is no biological or mystical reason preventing him from doing so. Can Juggernaut change his size? Under normal circumstances, there have been no instances where Juggernaut has grown larger or smaller, especially willingly. While his depictions may show him at varying sizes, this does not imply that he can alter his massive stature at will. However, there is an exception to this. When Juggernaut can fully harness the powers of the Gem of Sidorak without any obstructions, his already immense powers are amplified to a level that surpasses his previous limits. In his Trion Juggernaut form, the Red Behemoth can alter his size to become even more menacing, increasing his height if the situation requires it. As a character beyond Omega level, the Trion Juggernaut can grow larger than a Sentinel, expanding his entire body in unison with his output of strength and raw physical power. In this form, he gains abilities beyond just size alteration. He can track enemies with pinpoint accuracy, manipulate matter, levitate, absorb incoming projectiles and redirect them, project energy at will, and create and shatter portals through space and time. If you can imagine a human-sized, unstoppable killing machine, multiply that threat by a factor of 20, and you'll get a sense of just how formidable the Trion Juggernaut is. Fortunately, infinity multiplied by 20 is still infinite, right? Can Juggernaut be defeated? Is he immortal? Despite his infamous reputation as the unstoppable Juggernaut, he is not entirely invincible. The limitless power he receives from Sidorak can be overshadowed by others with superior abilities, or those who exploit his one true weakness: psionic powers. Arguably, Juggernaut's only real vulnerability is his lack of plot armor. In reality, the reason he wears his massive helmet, despite his mystical force field protecting him from most damage, is to shield himself from powerful psychics, who are abundant in the Marvel Universe. Psychic powers are Juggernaut's Achilles heel, as they can bypass all his physical defenses and attack his mental weaknesses directly. Heroes have repeatedly teamed up to remove Juggernaut's helmet, allowing Professor X to barrage him with psionic attacks. Although easier said than done, this tactic has worked numerous times in the past, and is a tried-and-true method for besting the Juggernaut. Over time, Juggernaut has adapted to these attacks and prepared himself to better resist them, but with extremely powerful psychics like Professor X and Jean Grey, he continues to struggle against such foes. Despite this one significant weakness, Juggernaut is nearly immortal when it comes to durability and self-sustenance. The Gem of Sidorak grants him complete self-sustainability, with a limitless supply of energy, negating the need for food, water, sleep, or air. Juggernaut never ages, and his body does not seem to succumb to the passage of time. He can survive in the vacuum of space, and is immune to most toxins, diseases, and radioactive elements. Sidorak has created an unimaginably strong avatar of destruction, and Juggernaut's near immortality makes him a mainstay among Marvel's villains, with no apparent end to his reign of terror. It could be argued that Juggernaut's powers, as depicted in the Marvel Universe, are completely over the top, bordering on the edge of absurdity. His superhuman strength, durability, and unstoppable momentum render him nearly impervious to physical attacks, while his ability to heal from injuries quickly seems almost unbelievable. Additionally, his mystical energy provides him with a range of other abilities, including some not typically associated with brute strength, such as energy projection, super speed, and the ability to survive in outer space. The sheer folly of Juggernaut's powers makes him a fascinating character. He is one of the strongest physical specimens in the Marvel Universe, and though his abilities may seem outrageous, they serve as a great plot device. Credit to the writers, they've always managed to keep the character interesting. Juggernaut's personality and character development are captivating, making him one of the most intriguing villainous brutes in the Marvel Universe. Some fans might see Juggernaut's abilities as over-the-top and unrealistic, but they remain a defining part of his character and have contributed to his enduring popularity. And honestly, that's what makes him so endearing. If you liked our content, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, everyone.